Hello, Pokemon trainers. How are you doing today? Today I come back with another deck profile, this time for a new deck. One that I've been wanting to play for a little while. Haven't gotten a chance to play it yet, but hopefully do some testing today and see how it goes. I wanted to build a deck around one of my favorite Pokemon, and one of my favorite Pokemon is Urshifu. Whether it be in Unite, the video game itself, or the card game, I just wanted to do something with it, so we made a deck profile around it. A deck around it. This is going to be based off of a winning deck list, not the other word, that I saw with one change, and I'll get to that when we get to it. So yeah, we'll talk about that. At time of recording, the Sacramento regional for Pokemon is going on, so I'm kind of hoping Urshifu does well there. But anyway, yeah. So guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications so you know when we upload almost daily, at least consistently try to. And make sure to follow social media for the channel. Links will be down below in the description box. Also, question of the day, is there a Pokemon deck that you've built that was based around one of your favorite Pokemon, even if it wasn't the greatest, or if you just built it and you didn't care if it was good or not? Alright, so let's go ahead and go with the first couple cards, shall we? So we're going to start off with the big boys. Some of the cards that do the work, so we're going to start off with 2 copies of Urshifu V and 2 copies of Urshifu Vmax. So Urshifu has, for the cost of 1 fighting energy, Strafe, which is you can switch to Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon for 30 damage and 1 fighting energy. Pretty good. And then 100 Furious Blows for 150. So he's not a bad attacker, but you're really not going to use him for attacking as often as you'd like. Because you'd rather use the Vmax. Also, 2-2 is a pretty good lineup. I honestly think it's fine. Anyway, so you do lose 3 prize cards if you lose a Vmax, but you have Gale Thrust for 130. But if you switch in, it does 120, so it's a 250. That can knock out most basic EXs, or almost all of them. Pretty much knocks out all basic EXs, most basic Vs, and pretty much cripples most Vmaxes, and can even cripple down Charizard EX. So yeah, and then Gmax Rapid Flow. You need to etch all energy from this card, but it will do 120 to all 2 Pokemon on your opponent's field. So it can be to 2 benched, it can be to bench and active. So it does a few. It does a lot of work. Yeah, that's gonna be one of the big reasons you want to wear down your opponent's Pokemon, then go for game. And the way we wear them down is through our snipers, which are 3 copies of Inteleon V and 3 copies of Inteleon V Max. Yeah. This is all Rapid Strike deck, so obviously it's Rapid Strike, so yeah. Inteleon V is fine, but you care more about Inteleon V Max, which does double gunner. You can discard a water energy and place 2 damage count, 2 bounce Pokemon, and put 2 damage counters on each. So you put 20, and you can do that if you have 3 out or you have 2. That's 60 on each. Knocks out most. Can knock out pretty much almost about anything. And his attack isn't bad. You may put energy attached to this Pokemon to your hand, and if you do inflict 70 more, so you can do 140. It's not bad. You just want to snipe. And there's a reason we want to snipe for that, and that's due to one of our win conditions is the copy of Medicham V. So the most attack we care about is Yoga Loop, which is you put 2 damage cards on one of your opponent's Pokemon, and if a Pokemon is knocked out by this attack, you take an extra turn. But you cannot use it at a turn again. So basically, you snipe, you do 1 hit, and then you do this to basically get another turn. Pretty good, actually. Lumineon V, this will search us out trainers. We need trainers. We don't really need a whole lot, but this can get us Irida, Clara, Melanie, Research, Iono, whatever we need. Like, it gets us out a lot. I will go ahead and say this right now. Spoiler, we don't play boss. because we're sniping at the bench a lot, we really don't need to worry about boss's orders. So yeah, since we don't worry about boss, we don't really need to worry about getting switched out. Well, we worry about our switches out, but don't worry about our opponents. One radiant Alakazam. You can only want one radiant in a deck, and that's because. But painful spoons, you move the 2 damage counters to knock something to another Pokemon. So on that attack, we do with the ability using the Intellions. If you have, say, for example, playing Lost Box, I'm not trying to call out Isaac here, or trying to Isaac, but if you see a Comfy with like 40 and 40, you can move 2 counters to the Comfy, so make it 60, so it has 10 HP left. Then bring out the Metachan V, and he uses its effect to knock out that Comfy, and you've basically now made sure that you take another turn. You can snipe a Comfy again, and then go for, say, either go into Urshifu Vmax for Gmax Rapid Flow to knock out 2 more Pokemon on the bench, or go Gale Thrust and try to knock out something on front. It's realistically your best chance to just do a lot of damage, and it's a burst turn. This deck is not about taking one shots, it's about having some burst turns and doing a lot of it's about doing increments. Think of it as a chess match and you want to get checkmate. That's the best way to put it. 1 copy of Spiritomb. This is a card. So this is the card that I mentioned when I said I was taking it active. If I had it, this would be a 3rd Forest Steel Stone. Unfortunately, I do not have a 3rd Forest Steel Stone. I do not wish to pay for one at the moment, so we're using Spiritomb. Just for its ability. Both basic Pokemon Vs have no abilities. This is for your Mew deck matchup. So they can't gain a lot of draws. Next, we play 2 copies of Remoraid and 2 copies of Octillery. Octillery lets you search for any Rapid Strike card, but you can only use that effect once per turn. You can't use it a second time, so you really only want one on each, but they will try to hit this, so yeah. And it's a Rapid Strike Pokemon, so you can search for it with itself or search for it with, say, other cards. So yeah, that's our search. Those are our Pokemon. Not a whole lot, but yeah, I enjoy that. So now we go to our item cards, which we play a good amount of because we want to see stuff. So well, there we go. Sorry, was a little distracted by something for a sec. Okay, so let's continue. So we play 4 copies of Ultra Ball. You have pieces you want to see, so you want to constantly get as many pieces as you can. You can get back certain cards with certain trainers, so this nets you. This can get you any supporter. This can get you a Rapid Strike Pokemon. This gets you pretty much everything you need. So, yeah. I mean, there's not much I can say. Ultra Ball is a good card. 2 Nest Balls to put on basic Pokemon on the bench. Sorry for the camera. I had to sit at a weird position right now. Put a basic onto the bench. This will not trigger Luminion's effect, but it will trigger. But it's other than that, you really will never use it for Luminion. Two copies of Forest Steel Stone attached only to a Pokemon V, and you can use Star Alchemy, which just lets you search for any card in your deck. This can net you a Energy. This can net you a VMAX. This can net you just about anything you need to get. And it's really good. That's why we want to play 2 of it. You would play 3, but we get it enough at 2, I think. 1 Energy Search. This is just to get you a Water Energy for Inteleon. So that's it. Or you need a 3rd Energy for Urshifu. If you need an Energy and you see this, I probably would play this. The only reason we don't play Greninja, Radiant Greninja, is because you'd rather use Radiant Alakazam for the damage counter moving than the ability to draw multiple cards. Because you actually have a decent hand most of the time. Three of the best turn 1 cards in the game, I think, in Battle VIP Pass. If you know Miraidon, you don't play this in Miraidon, but you do play this in just about everything else because this lets you put 2 Pokemon onto your bench, and then shuffle your deck. Opening up 2 of these pretty much nets you a full bench, and afterwards these are free Ultra Ball fodder. So yeah, best. I would say this is probably the best Pokemon card in the game. If you open up with it, use it. 2 energy retrieval to get back water energies that you use for Inteleon Vs. You put them back in your hand. Use them again next turn. Yeah, honestly, like if you know the deck already, you know this. It's really good to constantly just keep recycling energy if you need to. 1 Hisui and Heavy Ball, we check our prizes for our Pokemon. We add it to the basic Pokemon, add it to our hand, and then place this face down in the prize card. So I think you can use it, put it in there, and then if you get it again, you can use it again and put it. So that way you don't have to constantly get started, but you can probably just discard it when you don't need to. 1 Escape Rope. This is to bring Urshifu into the active to do like 250 with the Gale Thrust. Oh no, it does 120. So it does 150. Excuse me, 150 for Gale Thrust to do 150. And this can also maybe lock your opponent if they don't have a good Pokemon on the bench that they don't want to have ready yet. And then finally, Echoing Horn. So this can steal games because you can use this to put a basic Pokemon back on the bench, and then use Inteleon to snipe it, or use your Gmax Rapid Flow to snipe it for 120. And this is really good. Plus, it's a Rapid Strike card, so we can search it with Octillery. And our last trainers before we get to supporters are just 3 copies of Tower of Water, which just makes all our Rapid Strike Pokemon have 2 retreat less, which both ours and our opponents. But if we look at our Pokemon, Urshifu Vmax has 2, Urshifu has 2, Inteleon Vmax has 2, Inteleon V has 2, Medicham has 2. So basically, every Rapid Strike Pokemon has 2 retreat except for the Remoraid, but then everything else does not have 2 retreat. So that's why you want to hold on to your escape ropes, because if your opponent decides, oh, well, I'm just going to put your, say your Alakazam out there, then that sucks. But if you have some foresight, you hold on to energies and get energy searches to maybe put on some damage on Inteleon, use Inteleon to search some damage, so that you're able to probably do a little bit of damage and hopefully not be in that bad of a position when that happens. Alright, now for our trainers. Our trainer cards. Our supporters. First off, 3 copies of Iono. Everyone, if you know how good she is ridiculous. Redonkadonk. Both players shuffle the hand, put it to the bottom of the deck, and then draw a card equal to the number of their prices. You can use this early enough because sometimes your opponent may take a big knockout for 3 or 2, and then you do this, get down to 3, and then you just take that turn to take like 3 prizes. If you do like 2 so if you do the turn of Medicham, knock out say 2 Pokemon, take 2 prizes, leave Eon that turn, so they're at 3 or 2. Then you do your next turn and do even more damage. Then they're Iono down to like 3 or 4, and you've been able to take 2 prizes, and they have to play catch up, which is really good. Two of the best Pokemon, Melanie. Attach a basic water energy to one of your discard pile to one of your Pokemon V, and you draw 2 cards. Or no, draw 3. This is good if you need to get a Urshifu some energy for like a Gmax Rapid Flow or a Gale Thrust. That's really good. And honestly, probably one of the best supporters this deck has, just for being able to get some good starts. Oh, that's a good start. I think it gets you some late game consistency if you need it. 1 Karina's Focus. She's a Rapid Strike as well, and you can use this to draw onto your 6 cards. This comes in handy like in games where you have Iono. Like if your opponent Ionos you down to 1, sometimes you might get to that point. You can if you have this, you draw Luminion off of this, off of the Iono, you play the Luminion, get this, you draw 6, and that can kind of turn the game back in your favor. One Cheryl, you can use this to basically return back a Pokemon, because it heals all damage from one of your Pokemon, but you discard all energy. As long as you have, I believe, as long as it has damage, you can do it. So if they damage your Alakazam Radiant, you can bounce it back. And since they don't have energy most of the time, that's fine. Same with your Inteleon Vmaxes and all that. 2 research. You need to play research. Research just lets you dig when you need to dig, and drawing 7 cards is still really, really good. 2 Irida. Search for a water Pokemon and then an item card and put it to your hand. This means basically, okay, I'm going to play this. Search for, say, a Inteleon V or Vmax, and then search for Battle VIP Pass. That's all it really means when you play this going second. This plus VIP Pass basically fills up your bench. Probably the best supporter in the deck. And then 1 Clara, which you choose. So she has 2 effects, and you can choose one or both. You can either choose to add 2 Pokemon from your discard pile to your hand, or choose up to 2 basic energy from your discard pile, put them to your hand. But you can choose both, so basically you get back 4 cards. This lets you reset up a Inteleon VMAX, an Urshifu, or anything that was lost early. I've had a game where I pretty much know for a fact I'm probably going to have games where I have to discard a Deformed piece later, and I can probably get it back with Clara. Alright, now for our energies, and we do play 6 water energies. So we can at least probably do Inteleon 6 times in a game, even more when we add back. And yeah, but we play 6. I think you don't need more. Search for Inteleon, use Inteleon's effect, and you can get it back with energy search. Get it with energy search, or get it back with energy retrieval. You should probably never run out of energy unless they're all prized. But what are the odds of that? I don't know. I would say not very high. Sorry if I'm not giving the most commentary, guys. I actually have not had to play this deck yet, so I will be playing it today at our locals after some free play. Probably tomorrow, and then, of course, during our league. So, yeah, we should have you a little more time to play test and everything. So, and our final 4 cards of the deck are just 4 copies of the Rapid Strike Energy. So you can only attach it to Rapid Strike Pokemon. If you attach anything else, you discard it. And as long as it's attached to Rapid Strike Pokemon, it gives any combination of 2 water and fighting. So you can do 2 fighting, 2 water, or 2 water, or 2 fighting, or 1 fighting, 1 water. Pretty much guarantees you're going to have energy for all your attacks. It is a special energy, I believe. Yes, it is. And unfortunately, it is not a water energy. It's only water energy when it's attached, so you cannot use it for Inteleon's effect. So yeah, guys, that's the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and I'll let you know how testing goes. I'll probably start doing a little weekly thing of how did I enjoy deck playing, and I'll let you know. I've been Michael from the King's Court. Hope you all enjoyed it. See you all next time. Peace.